What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm going to talk about my twin flame experience. A twin flame experience. Not familiar what a twin flame is. It's pretty much like a term from I guess New Age spirituality, or not even New Age spirituality. Just in the spiritual community or in these spiritual channels, people refer to like intense connections or certain intense connections as a twin flame. Now, not everyone see, the twin flames is confusing. It's one of those connections where like you have to experience it to know what I'm talking about, or to know what certain people are talking about. It's gonna be hard for people to kind of relate if you haven't experienced a twin flame connection. It's one of those things where you can't really explain it, but like once you experience it, you know what I'm talking about. It's one of those things. It's like where you know in your heart or in your spirit, you know you've experienced a twin flame connection. A twin flame connection, it doesn't mean it's special. It doesn't mean anything like that. All it simply means is like it's a very intense connection with someone who mirrors all of your wounds, all of your inner child wounds, all of your trauma, all of your insecurities, and it brings all that shit to the surface. But this person also mirrors your strengths and your weaknesses and your talents and your potential and your hidden potentials and things you didn't know that you actually have that were unlocked you, that were like dormant within you when it comes to your personality, when it comes to like your gifts, your talents. But the main purpose to like kind of bring all of your insecurities to the surface, all of your shadow side. That's what I'm looking for. Your shadow side, all of your wounds to the surface, right? Just so it can come to the surface, and so you yourself can heal those things, so you can become a better version of yourself, and you improve your life, and you can help other people along the way. That's pretty much what a twin flame relationship is. That's what it means, and you also doing the same thing with that one person, that other person. Now it gets tricky because that's the purpose of all connections. That's the purpose of any relationship, in my opinion, especially romantic. So it gets confusing. It depends on intensity and depends on the purpose of it. Usually, twin flames they tend to like kind of look alike. It doesn't necessarily mean you're twin or anything. Just you two just kind of have similarities. It's hard to explain. I know from speaking of it, it sounds bullshit, but like I said, it's one of those things where like you have to experience it to know what I'm talking about. This video it may not be for everyone, but and again I could be wrong. Who knows? But if not a twin flame connection, then this video is gonna be about my most intense spiritual connection with someone. So let's get to it. This life story might be all over the place because I'm tired. I got things to do, and I just want to get straight to the point because like it's been on my mind too. So I can't get this person off my mind, but let's get to it. So, with a twin flame relationship, with a twin flame connect. So how we met, we were in the same college. Me, I'm 25. I'm turning 26, but I was like 19 at the. I was 19 and she was 18 at the time. No, I was actually 18 and she was 17 at the time. No. I was 19 and she was 18, right? So we were both in college. And how we both met. First, we both first met. I didn't kind of like. I wasn't even like paying attention to her like that. She, I'm sure she wasn't paying attention to me either. But then we kind of just met. We kind of like we were at like a classroom kind of discussion. It was like the first day of class, and we were all outside and stuff. And then she just happened to be right next to me, and I was next to her. And then immediately, I felt kind of comfortable. So as class went on, as we were walking by, like we were both just talking, and we both had an instant connection. Like we're both just instantly having conversations. It's really hard to explain. The attraction, it wasn't there. It's not because I was attracted to her, and it's because like we weren't paying attention. It's like we're just trying to like go to college and shit like that. But as we met, I immediately felt comfortable talking to her, and she felt comfortable talking to me. And then we kept talking and talking. At first, I thought she was older than her age because she looks older than her age, which is a compliment because like she's so attractive and hot and like her personalities. I thought she was older, so like at least in her like mid 20s or something. So then as we were talking, we were just having a good conversation. We were talking a lot, and then fast forward, then we kept talking this and that. But I noticed there's a lot of delays within our connection. Like just it was one of those things where like you met the right person at the wrong timing. It was kind of like that. because she had a car at the time and I didn't have a car, so I couldn't visit her. I couldn't even hang out with her like that. And like at the time, I was going through arguments and fights with my family, so like I couldn't even talk to her through the phone like that. Like I had a fucking like, um, I think I had like a flip phone. No, I had a fucked up phone at the time. Like I didn't even have an iPhone like that. But I kept losing my phone and stuff. So like immediately from the jump, me and her were having like um miscommunications and like misunderstandings, all that push and pull energy. So fast forward to class, I eventually caught feelings for her and like I think like a month because as we kept talking and stuff. Like, well, first we were texting each other a lot, so like we were like yeah, me and her we kept texting each other back and forth like for a long time. Like we're having like a lot of good conversations. We're getting to know each other, and like I just felt like I know her my whole life. Like I felt like she was my best friend. And like I don't know, I just feel like I know her my whole life, and like I wasn't. It was crazy because looking back, like that was before. Like I knew nothing about twin flames. I knew nothing about spiritual connections. I never even had a spiritual awakening like that. Yes, I was into spirituality. Yes, there are times where I'll see ghosts and shit, but and I believe in ghosts. I believe in the afterlife and spirits like that. But I didn't have my true spiritual awakening until I actually met her. So as we were meeting up, as we were talking, um, as we were talking, I mean, through the phone and stuff, like I felt like I know her my whole life. I feel like there's a strong connection, and like it was just ongoing. Like we are texting for like hours and hours. Like it was pretty amazing, man. It was pretty amazing. Like I said, it's hard to explain. I just felt like she's my best friend, um, and like I really liked her. I really did. So as time built up, I eventually caught feelings. And before, I didn't do not know anything about twin flames. I didn't know shit about connections like that. Fast forward, as we kept seeing each other in class, like it was weird though, because while we me and her were in the same class, there were periods of like where like we would talk to each other for a long time, and then there are also other periods where like we wouldn't talk to each other for so like we'll talk to each other for like a couple of days, and then the next 2 weeks we want to talk to each other. I'm talking about through the phone because through class, like we'll see each other in class, but then like fuck, I don't remember. So we'll see each other in class, but like at times we'll take long ass breaks during class because of how class was. So like we'll only have class like only 2 times a week, but like we'll barely see each other here and there because sometimes she's not in class and sometimes I'm not in class. So like we'll see each other. So we'll barely see each other, but like when we'll text each other like fucking 2 hours for like the whole day, and then like in the next 2 weeks we want to talk to each other and shit like that. So there's a lot of miscommunications and like there's a lot of runner chase your energy. So like there are times where like she was chasing me, and there are times where like I was chasing her. With twin flames connection is there's a lot of push and push and pull energy. Where like I want her, okay, now I want space, or like she wants me, and now she wants her space. And as a twin flame journey goes on, you're always gonna experience that back and forth energy, the runner chaser phase. It's kind of crazy. It's some complicated, crazy shit. But the main purpose of it is so you can heal your inner wounds and shit like that. It's very triggering, very triggering. Damn, just talking about it, looking back, it's crazy how time flies and stuff. So what happened? So fast forward, I finally get to see her in class, and she gets to see me. And as I kept seeing her in class, like I kept developing like strong feelings because she was just so beautiful. Like she was so fine. Like I can't explain it. Like her energy, just she was just so attractive. I was so attracted to her, and not only that, but like we had a good chemistry too. So like, and I think she was my first love too, because I never felt hard for anyone like that my whole entire life, not even high school. Like I never even dated. I wasn't even in a relationship like that even before I met her. Like I was, yes, I would have feelings for females here and there, or like I found them attractive, but like I never caught deep feelings for anyone, unlike her. So she definitely unlocked a lot of feelings from me, and I never experienced anything like that before. So I felt so overwhelmed, felt so nervous, I felt so like anxious, I felt a lot of anxiety, and like there were certain times where like, I was scared to approach her because like I felt so overwhelmed. I felt like I was going crazy. Like I felt like I was going crazy. I just felt like I couldn't. I don't know, man. And it was weird too because like I knew like I knew she was trying to get to know me. I knew like I knew she was interested in me. I knew she wanted to get. I knew she wanted to know more about me, and like I knew she wanted to ask me her out. I knew she wanted to hang out with me, but like I never asked her for some reason. I think it's because out of fear, out of insecurity. Oh yeah, it was. So like there's. I'm not gonna go into detail, but there's a lot of things, a lot of situations that played out that kind of like that kind of like made me more insecure. Like it made me overthink and second guess myself, or like maybe she doesn't like me, or like maybe I don't matter to her, or maybe I'm making all this up on my mind, or like maybe like um, I'm just going crazy, right? So because there's a lot of situation events, and there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of insecurity on my part, right? So it prevented me from asking her out. Then eventually she got pissed, and then she didn't want to talk to me. And then we had this very like we had a very telepathic connection where like I know how she was feeling without her explaining it to me, and vice versa. So like there are times where like we wouldn't even communicate, like we wouldn't even talk to each other, like but we both knew like we both knew that there's some issues. Like I knew like just from telepathically like she didn't want to talk to me and vice versa. I knew like it was just crazy, man. This connection is crazy. It's a lot to explain, man, but when you meet your twin flame, you're definitely gonna have a strong telepathic connection. So, uh, fast forward, um, fast forward when we finally dated, right? When oh no no, so while we were in class, right, and their parents were like, I want to see her, and keep in mind, I never had this strong feelings for anyone before, right? So like while we were gone, while I couldn't see her, I had this strong longing for her. Like I was longing for her. Like I missed her. Like for some reason I felt sad. I felt lost in life, and like man, like it was just I was going through. Like, I felt like I was going crazy because I couldn't get her off my mind, and I couldn't see this person. And like even though I had her number, for some reason I didn't even message her. So I'm just like, what's going on? And like and then I was like daydreaming about her. Like I was listening to like love music about her. Like I was, because you, you know how many when you have a crush on someone, or like when you're in love with someone, you can't stop thinking about this person. You keep like romanticizing this person. You can't keep daydreaming about this person. Yeah, that was like me. So I was doing all that, but at the same time, I was sad, and like I was just very like yeah, I was sad, and like I was kind of like longing for her, man. So like I was going crazy. I couldn't get her off my mind, and like I was just sad, pretty much. That's the best feeling I could explain it. So when I felt sad, this and that, right? So then fast forward, I don't want to make this video fucking boring, but then we met. We finally dated. No, it's no. So we actually fought, but me and her, we never even argued or talked to each other like that. But we both knew telepathically that we both didn't like each other. Like not that, but we both knew that we're both didn't want to talk to each other because we're both fighting, all because of like insecurities, misunderstandings. Where like she tried to ask me out, but then for me, I thought like she was playing mind games, or like I thought she was trying to use me. It's like all my insecurities, all my overthinking, and she kept trying to ask me out, I didn't want to do it. And then result that got her mad, and then with me, whenever I'll see her, I'm gonna be with her, I'm gonna talk to her. But then she was mad, and then I know why she was mad because so it's just shit like that, where like a lot of insecurities, a lot of like trauma, a lot of overthinking came to the surface, at least for me, and it caused me to self sabotage that connection. Right? You can already see the self sabotage there. You can already see it. All that was through overthinking, assuming that's what I'm looking for. Assuming. So immediately there is a lot of self sabotage, and that's the thing with twin flames. A lot of twin flames, people who experience twin flame connections. They always experience like self sabotage, or like they would overthink, or like they feel like it's too good to be true. That their twin flame actually loves them, or like they have a lot of love for them. That they're really into them like that. Well, the people like define feminines, it's so hard for them to understand that, to grasp that, because it's too good to be true. And like growing up, more than likely with twin flames, oh my god, it's a lot to explain, man. If you don't know about twin flames, this video is not for you. So with twin flames, there's a divine feminine and a divine masculine. Pretty much the divine feminine twin flame. It doesn't matter what gender. You can be a guy, but you're the divine feminine. The divine feminine, they're more into spirituality. They tend to think deep. They tend to think deeper with that within life. They tend to be into esoteric knowledge, spirituality, just shit like that, right? So they're usually the first ones to like awaken. They're they're the first ones to recognize this connection, right? They're the first ones to like know about this connection, right? I don't know where I'm getting to, but and then you have the divine masculines who are like I'm not too sure about divine masculines, but the divine masculines, they're more into the physical realms. Like they're more into like I don't know, working, making money, meeting new friends. This tangible shit where like you do in this earth, where like you're so consumed, focused on the earth. That's the divine masculine, and like they don't have as much knowledge when it comes to spirituality or the deeper meanings behind life. They're because they're so stuck in this realm. They're so stuck in like making money. And I'm not saying you're making money if you're into this realm, you're not into spirituality. It's not that. It's like they're just stuck by like societal programming and just shit like that, right? Well, for the divine feminines, they're stuck in like spiritual programming and just shit like that. So they're both the opposite in that way. But long story short, I knew like me and her we had a strong telepathic connection. I knew without a doubt me and her we definitely have a strong connection. So long story short, after we fought, and we never communicated with this to each other either. Like we both had a like we both had strong telepathy, so we knew like we are both passive aggressive. And you know how when people are passive aggressive, they don't communicate. That's how she was, and that's how I was. Like we couldn't even verbalize what why we were fighting like that. So we didn't even communicate it yet. I knew she was mad at me, and I'm sure she knew I was mad at her. After we went our own separate ways, and I was crying, I was sad, I was crying over her. I was so mad, but I was so like pissed. Yeah, I was sad at the same time. I was heartbroken. I couldn't see her. So months later, she contacted me again, and then I got excited, and then I was so happy, So we were finally talking. So like me and her, like we were finally talking, right? I mean, through the phone, and I told her how much I missed her, like how much like we should hang out, and then she also agreed. Like she also told me how much she missed me, like she also wanted to hang out with me. So then we both set it up a day where me and her would hang out. It's kind of like a date, and then me and her did went out for dates pretty much, and then it was good. Like when me and her first hung out on a date, like it was one of the most amazing experiences I've felt my entire life. Like I'm 25, I'm 26, and I still feel like by far that was one of the most amazing, blissful, best experiences I've experienced throughout my life. One of it, because like it was amazing, because like me and her, like we just had strong chemistry. There's a lot of telepathic connection. It was a strong telepathic connections, and like it was kind of like you seen a fairy tale. Like I me and her, like we were walking, we were like and holding hands and stuff. Like she would finish my sentences, and then I would finish her sentences. It was stuff like that, and like she instantly knew what I like and don't like, and vice versa. I knew what she liked and don't like. Like it's like it's crazy because when we were together, it's like I knew what words not to say. I knew how not to like act out that she doesn't like. Like I knew instantly what not to do and say, and vice versa. She probably felt the same way because I could sense it. Especially and at the time I didn't have a car, but she had a car. So and in these like night drives, it was during the nighttime too. So in these night drives, like me and her, we had good conversations during the nighttime too. Like in these um late night drives, like we're having good ass conversations. Like it was just amazing, man. Like it was blissful. Like we're having good combos. Like there's a lot of roller coaster of emotions. Even when I first met her, like when she picked me up from her car, like I gave her a hug and stuff. I was like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And like she gave me a hug, and so like it was pretty cool. And like, but even like when we hung out, like because I was waiting at the school parking lot, and like she said she's gonna pick me up. As we were texting, and like when she texted me, like, "Oh, I finally see you. Like I saw you. Like I'm." about to pick you up, and like I just never forget like the butterflies, like the excitement, like my heart rate was beating so fast, like it was amazing. Like I had so much like joy and excitement. Like it's one of the best feelings in the world. Like, and it felt like me and her like we haven't seen each other for a long ass time. You know, I mean we kind of haven't, but then it was just amazing. And then we finally saw each other, and like we're both happy and excited. It was just I don't know, man. Sometimes like we like to live back. Like it was cool, man. It's crazy how time. It's crazy how fast time flies. It was whatever. But yeah, but like I said, as we hung out, like it was amazing. Like we had a very strong telepathic connection, and like it was just cool. And that's the thing with twin flames too. Like when you meet your twin flame, you can have a strong telepathic connection. It gets to the point where like you kind of know when this person's lying to you, and vice versa. You know when she's lying. No, you know when this person's lying to you, and they know when you're lying to them. The connection is that strong. Like you two tend to finish each other's sentences here and there. Like you know what you know what not to say, what not to do around this person, and you actually do know what to say and what to do around this person. Like you two will just instantly know each other. You two will instantly click. Like you two instantly vibe. Not just with twin flames, not just with twin flames, with any type of connection in general, right? It's pretty crazy. Um, and obviously the attraction is there. Like you two just click, you know. It's like this twin flame is like when you meet this person, like you know this person for your whole life. You two are like best friends, pretty much. You two are like very best friends and lovers at the same time. Like it's gonna feel like you know this person your whole life. Even like even when we hung out, because you see my videos where like I always wear black. Me, I love wearing the color black. I love wearing black clothes. I love wearing long sleeve black shirts. I love wearing black outfits and stuff. That's just me. And even we both met, like she was wearing all black and I was wearing all black. So like me and her, we instantly uh, just from the jump, like we both like the color black, which is kind of strange. I don't know why, but even with our connections, like other people, they kind of recognize like how strong our connection was. You know, people were giving us compliments, so it was pretty cool. It felt kind of like unreal, but yet it felt so short at the same time. And even my mind, like while I was hanging out with her, I was like, my mind was like, for some reason, my mind. Well, obviously, you know how I am. I'm a hopeless romantic, so my mind's like, oh, I'm gonna marry her, or like, oh, she's the one, this and that, whatever. But also in my mind, what really stuck to me was the fact that, okay, don't take her for granted because you never know at any time this could be. No, in my mind was like, don't take her for granted because at any given moment, that connection can be taken away from you, or like this might be the last time you might see her. So don't take it for granted, and you never know when this is going to be over. And have a lot of gratitude and be thankful. Those were like my thoughts pretty much. I don't know where it came from. I think spirit was telling me that, or I had this strong intuition knowing that like I might not see her, or like eventually the connection is going to be cut off, or like this might be the last time I'm going to see her. For some reason, my intuition, my thoughts was telling me that, but I was kind of in denial, or like I was kind of acknowledging it, and I didn't want to take it for granted, and I didn't take our connection for granted at all. You know, this is amazing. Like the attraction, like man, just looking back, like when you meet your twin flame, like the intensity, the attraction is there. You know what I'm saying? But fast forward, you know, when we finally like when me and her were kissing, like we're like making out and all that, like it was amazing because like when I was kissing her and like she was kissing me and like we were like making out, like bro, like I swear to God, like I almost had like an out of body experience. Like it was crazy. I'm not sure if I'm overreacting or like that, but as we were making out, like I just like my whole body just kind of froze up because I feel like I had a like because you know how when you're having an out of body me I never experienced an out of body experience OBE where like it's like pretty much when you're sleeping and you're astral projecting or like when you're having an out of body experience, right? I felt like that. Like I didn't feel like I was present in my body. I felt like I like me and her were like making out, like time was slowing down, like everything seemed to slow down and stuff. Well, let me talk about what led up to the moment. Like me and her, obviously. we were flirting here and there, like, and then we're just touching each other, and then eventually it led to us like making out. But even before that, like me and her, like we were looking at each other's eyes and shit, right? And the eye contact was so intense, like it was so intense, like I can't explain it. Like while me and her were making eye contact, like I felt something. I felt like a strong ass energy. I can't explain it. Like around my two eyes and shit. I don't know. I'm thinking too much into it, but like I know what I experienced. I'm the type of person where like I know what I experienced because I've experienced a lot of spiritual shit. You know, like I can't like, and most times I'm accurate. But like when me and her made strong eye contact, like I just felt strong energy throughout my eyes and shit. Like it was just so intense, like a burning in my eyes, and like as we were looking at each other's eyes, I felt like time stopped. I feel like I feel like everything stopped. It was just me and her in the present moment. Eventually, obviously, we kissed. No, but like it was weird because like when we're making eye contact, like I just froze and like I felt so much energy in my eyes, and I was like, I was in so much disbelief, and like, and my exact words were like, "You're so beautiful," right? I was like, "You're so beautiful," because like I was just lost in her eyes. I was lost in her gaze and shit. You know, it's talking about it's fucking stupid. No, it's not dumb or anything. Just I don't know. So we're making eye contact, right? And like I was like, I stopped and paused and like we like looking at each other's eyes for like a good. To be honest, I don't know what time, like five, like at a good 10 seconds and shit, like 5 to 10 seconds, but it felt long. And like I was like, "You're so beautiful," but those like, but when I told her you're so beautiful, it's like if it felt like it wasn't forced. Like I didn't force. And me, I always overthink, I always force shit. But like, and it felt forced. It felt like my spirit was talking to her. You know what I'm saying? Like my spirit was talking to her. You know, that's why I say it didn't feel forced. So I was like, as we're making eye contact, I was like, "You're so beautiful." And then we kissed, this and that. And as we were making out, time stopped. Like I just felt like I had an out of body experience. I really couldn't explain it. I couldn't move or anything like that. I felt paralyzed. Like shit, you know, this shit was crazy. This shit was crazy. Like she lasted for like 15 seconds, a good 15 seconds, which kind of sucked. What made us stop was like, since we're making out in a car and shit, there's this guy who, no, there's this person who was driving at a car, and for some reason, out of all the parking space, there's so much parking space area, right? There's like, oh, this is crazy, man, how this shit played out. So as me and her were like making out, right? And I was joining that shit too. So like, but there was a person driving a car, right, a vehicle, and there's so much parking space because it was me and her car at an open area where like there's no one around. But yet that person parked behind us, and that person used, well, obviously it's nighttime, so that person used his parking lights, those bright white lights, and it was so bright, and then it flashed on us behind her vehicle. And obviously, we could see the light reflecting from us. Then me and her, we immediately stopped, and then we both looked, and then we both kind of like hide on the car seat or whatever. Like I was hiding on the car seat. She was hiding on the car seat, and then we were looking, and we're like, "What the hell?" Like we're both confused. Like we're like, "What the hell?" And then we saw that person back up and reversed. That's just funny as fuck. That's some funny shit, man. Fucking hilarious. Some awkward shit. Well, not even awkward. It's just funny. So that I don't know what that person was thinking. Like, what the fuck? But then that person was reversing and driving back. But it was weird looking back, just talking about it. There's so much open space because that person parked behind. So that person left, and then after, it was so crazy. So after that person stopped, right? Me and her stopped because obviously because of the car. Then moments later, uh, she got a phone call from her mother, right? Isn't that weird? Right after the car was there, that parked behind us, reversed. We both stopped kissing because obviously the car lights over there. We should have kept going, but you know, looking back, I should have. But we both stopped the car lights because of the car lights. Then the car eventually went away. Then literally 5 seconds later, she got a call from her mom. No, no, not her mom. I forgot what it was. Like she got a car, right? And then she had to get home like immediately, right? So that means so she had no choice but to go home, and like she had to drop me off. So she dropped me off, and like yeah, and she dropped me off, and then she had to leave, and then obviously we we both said goodbye. I give her another kiss, and my mind is like, yeah, this probably gonna be the last time I'm gonna see her. Even though we both live in the same hometown, we both live in the same area. I mean, it's hard to explain. Like we didn't live close, we weren't neighbors or anything. But keep in mind, I didn't have a car, so like she probably lived probably like 30 minutes away from my house, driving, not walking distance, but from driving distance. Like we live in different towns and different areas, but in the same state, in the same area, but in different towns, not different cities. We both live in the same city, but different towns. So I gave her a last kiss, and then moments later, uh, she said, "Text me." I was like, "All right." So I was outside, and then she drove on the car, and then like, bam, like I was watching her this and that. And, like it was weird because it was so crazy. So I was watching like her car right move away and stuff. Like I was looking, I was watching. Like my mind is like, yeah, this might be the last time I might see her for some reason. And then immediately I felt sad. I felt like very like I don't know. I just felt extremely sad. I just felt like, man, it's probably the last time I'm gonna see her. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I was sad because like I had so much fun spending time with her. Like I had such a great time. I felt so connected to her. So again, and then so naturally I'm gonna feel sad. So long story short, when she and we both had our numbers, and she had my number, I had her number. We both went inside, and like it was weird. Even though she told me to text her, like for some reason I didn't text her because I felt like it was too good to be true. But one, as soon as I got back my home, because I got picked up by like a family member, they dropped me off to my room. Um, I was happy as hell. Like I was excited because obviously, I went on a date with my crush, the person I really had strong feelings for. I really loved for. Like it went well, and like I feel like I was living a dream come true. Like I was jumping up and down. I was excited in my room. I was just so happy, right? And then and for some reason I don't know why I don't even remember. But like I never texted her, and she told me to text her, and like she didn't text me. I didn't text her because I thought it was too good to be true. And as the days went by, as the weeks went by, like and at that time me and her weren't at the same college class, so that was actually the next semester. And by the next semester, like me and her, we were already in different classes because even before we dated, me and her, we were already finished with the semester and stuff like that. So like we couldn't even see each other, like we couldn't even date each other like that because we couldn't even see each other. And 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 yeah, but so and this timeline, that was when I was in different college class, and she was in different college class here and there. But yeah, but like for some reason I didn't text her for like a couple weeks. I never texted her, and it was out of fear too, because I felt like my mind's like, man, it's too good to be true. Like it's too good. But here's the thing too, I forgot to mention. So this connection, it was so intense because like it was so intense. Um, like it was like the next following day, like after me and her dated, the next day, like I couldn't focus because I couldn't get her off my mind. I feel like time just felt different, and that's the thing too. Like while me and her were kissing, while me and her were like making out, I felt like I was, or not even that, but like while I was with her, I felt like I was in a whole different realm. Like I was in a blissful realm, right? There's nothing but bliss and happiness, right? I felt so complete with her, but when I was away from her, I felt so depressed. I felt so low. I feel like time has been slowed down. Like it was just so insane. Like even in class, like and not only that, but I had a massive headache. So that was probably my Kundalini awakening, or like because even with twin flames, they've been reports of like experiencing Kundalini, or like they experience body heat from like different parts of the area. I know there's one person. She mentioned she experienced Kundalini, or like extreme heat from her. I think her spine area. And for me, I felt the same heat, but it wasn't from my spine area. It's from my head. So like, I had a massive headache. Like I had like heat waves. Like I had like heat flashes. I thought I was sick. I thought like maybe she made me sick or something. I'm gonna text her like, hey, are you sick or here and there? And I felt sick. Like I wasn't sick. It's just like I had a huge headache. It was just so crazy. Like I don't know what was going on. Like I had a huge heat wave. Now looking back, my theories are like that's probably Kundalini because twin flames are usually together and who usually have sex. And me and her, we didn't have sex or anything like that. We just made out. That's it. But like usually with twin flames, we have a lot of physical intimacy, especially when it comes to like sexual intimacy. They tend to experience a lot of Kundalini, a lot of heat flashes here and there. Maybe that's probably one of the reasons why I was making out. Like I felt it felt like it was so intense because like the eye contact. I felt like I had an out of body experience. It was really tense. Like I felt like time slowed down. It was just crazy, man. But I could be wrong. I'm just saying, like usually with twin flames when they're together, they have reports of like experiencing Kundalini awakenings, where like they experience a lot of intense heat from their body, or not even from their body, but it could be chakras as well. So yeah, the next following day, obviously, me and her hanging out in the class the next day. I couldn't focus. I felt so depressed. I felt like time. I don't know, like life just seems so depressing. Like my best explanation is when I'm, I'm imagine you're in heaven, right? Imagine you're in the fifth realm. Imagine you're in heaven, right? You're at a blissful realm. You're at a blissful state, right? But then imagine you're in the heaven world, right? But then you immediately go down to earth. Of course, earth's gonna feel different. Earth's gonna feel dull. Earth's gonna feel very low because you came from heaven, right? That's the best explanation, at least from my perspective. But yeah. So like, and I was in class, and like, I couldn't focus in class. Like I felt so tired too. For some reason, I felt so tired. I felt so sluggish. I had a huge headache, and I don't know what was going on. I think because I felt so overwhelmed with love, like I couldn't get her off my mind. I felt so overwhelmed, and like I was. That's one of the reasons why I didn't text her, or like I didn't even contact her because I felt so overwhelmed. Now that's where you get your the runner and chase your energy. Now I personally believe, looking back, probably because like as we were like hanging out and dating, and I had so much love for her. My theory was that like I felt so overwhelmed and I didn't know what was going on. I felt so scared that I was kind of like denying her, like I was like denying myself, or like I was trying to trick my mind, thinking like, oh, I'm making all this up, or all this is just an illusion, or like maybe she's just using me, or like maybe I'm just overreacting, or like maybe she doesn't have feelings for me like that, or maybe like I'm just going crazy, you know? Because my emotions, my feelings was overwhelming. I was just going crazy. Right? I couldn't get her off my mind. I had extreme headaches. I felt so sad and depressed without her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what was going on. I was filled up with a bunch of feelings and emotions. I don't know what was going on and shit. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was so bad. Where like, while I was in college class, right? This teacher asked like she'll pick volunteers of who wants to read in class, and I was so tired. I was so drained of energy. But like I had to force myself to raise my hand just so like I could talk out loud in class, just so I could wake myself up. And I wasn't tired of anything, and so my body felt sluggish. And even when I was reading, I actually love reading. I consider myself as a good reader. But even then, like it was hard for me to like reading class, like I was stumbling over my words, I was stuttering over my words, and like it was hard for me to focus and read those words. In my mind, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What the hell is going on? My mind, I was that tired. And even there are people who were trying to talk to me here and there, like I couldn't even respond to them back in a proper way because like while I was talking to the person, I was giving them like one answer responses when people are trying to talk to me, like when my friends are trying to talk to me, I'll give them like one answer responses and shit. So I don't know what was going on. I felt sluggish. I had a massive headache, and I didn't text her. Then, long story short, me and her broke up because like it was due to miscommunications, due to like misunderstandings and shit like that. Because I didn't text her, and like it was too, and then she got fed up here and there, and like we just kind of broke up with each other here and there. And eventually, that led us to like a fight through the phone. Not obviously not a physical fight, but I'm not a fight. Like an argument through the phone. Then I said some things I regretted to her, and she blocked me. And then ever since then, like that's pretty much it from there. And then like we both um we're both not in contact. We both do block and unblock each other here and there. There's we do check up on each other here and there. There are times where I've seen her ever since then, like years later, like in person, like by accident, and there are times where like she'll see me by accident and just shit like that, right? And it's been very heartbreaking. It's very hard, and that's pretty much it from right there. And now, uh, fast forward now, we're just living our lives. She's just living her life. I'm living my life. And like, what I'm saying? We're both on our own separate ways. You know what I'm saying? She's in a relationship. Me, I'm in the military. Now we're both completely different states. There's also a lot of other stories too, but it's a long story, man. Like it's a lot. Um, like there are times, and she was also in the military too. But so she traveled around. She went to different areas, and that was before I wasn't in the military. That was when I was a civilian still. So she was in the military. She was in a re and she was in a relationship. I was a civilian. Then a couple years forward now I'm in the military, and now she got out of the military, and now we're both constantly put in different locations. We're both constantly put in different areas and shit, right? You know, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's kind of crazy how this life plays out. But at this point, I even before I'm good now, but before I had a strong attachment, I had a strong codependency towards her, and and it took me a long time just to pick myself back up to love myself. And that connection, we met in 2017, 2016. So it's been 6.5 years since me and her met, and there has been a lot of growth. There's been a lot of self evolution. There's a lot of spiritual growth, and I've learned so much. I've learned so much from her, and I'm sure she learned a lot from me. I've grown spiritually, mentally, physically. Not physically, mentally and spiritually. I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot. I learned how to love myself. But even before, like, while me and her were broken up, like, there's a lot of crying. I never cried so much in my entire life. I feel like I was going crazy. Like, I felt like a family. I feel like someone that I loved had died. I feel like someone I loved got it taken away from me. But sometimes I gotta remind myself, like, she's not gone. She's not dead. Like she's here. So like there's nothing to worry about. And that's the thing with grief. Sometimes I like to remind myself, like, yes, it sucks. It sucks losing that person. Yes, it sucks because that person's not in your life. But this person's not dead. This person's still here. You know what I'm saying? And I understand when it comes to breakups and loss, it's much deeper than that. I get it. But and plus, you still don't have access to that person, which sucks. But for me, like while me and her broke up, like there's a lot of grieving, a lot of crying, very painful, very traumatic. It's one of the most painful experiences I've experienced in my whole life, and there's a lot of feelings of worthlessness, like feelings of abandonment, feelings of like I feel like I'm unworthy, or like unworthiness and shit like that. Where like, I feel like I didn't deserve her, shit like that, or like just I just self sabotage that connection. Like when it comes to twin flame connections, there's a lot of regret. There's a lot of self sabotage and shit like that. At least for the first stages, you know what I'm saying. But like I said before, the twin flame connections is meant to show you your greatest potential, but it's also meant to show you your most traumatized self, the things that traumatize you, your wounds, the things that scar you, but also it's meant to show you, like I said, your shadow side, but also it's meant to show you your light, your dark side and your light side. And the main purpose of a twin flame connection is for you to heal and to overcome and to become a better version of yourself, and to heal yourself and to heal other people that are around you, and pretty much heal the collective in a way. That's why most twin flames they experience generational curses. They experience being in dysfunctional families. They experience abusive families, like abusive people. Like usually twin flame connections, they experience a lot of abusive situations, like people like within the collective, like dysfunctional shit, where like they're forced to love themselves. Like they've been through rough situations where like people have like used them, have like betrayed them, abandoned them. Like I said, they've abused them or like they harmed them, and now these twin flames are very traumatized, and that's one of the main reasons why they even experience connections like these, so they can heal and overcome these types of connections, so they can heal themselves, and they can love themselves, and in return, they can live better, prosperous lives. They can help other people and their family most of the times. That's pretty much the main purpose of twin flame connections. There's a lot more other reasons as well, but like it's very complex. There's a lot of information out there, and all the stuff I mentioned, of course, I've learned these from other YouTubers as well. There's a lot of YouTubers who also talk about twin flame connections, the purpose of it. Me, I'm not talking about the full purpose of it. I'm just talking about my life story when it comes to twin flame connections. I'm just talking about my life story. So I'm not giving the actual details on what it is. I'm just sharing my life story. I could, but I'm tired. This video is so long. I'm tired, but if you want to learn more about twin flames, just top it up on YouTube. The purpose of twin flame connections. What's the purpose of it? Like, type in experiences or like type in twin flames Kundalini, twin flames like chakras, and like you know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about doesn't make sense, but if you do your research or if you experience twin flame connections yourself, you know what I'm talking about. But it does have to apply for twin flames. Again, twin flame is just a man-made label. Another word for twin flame is a very intense spiritual connection. It's pretty much like a soulmate connection. There's different types of soulmates. There's karmic soulmates, there's regular soulmates. But let's look at twin flames not just a label, but apply that to any relationship that has been worked out for you. The main purpose of a relationship is to show you your greatest potential, but ultimately to show you your greatest woundings and your greatest like it's meant to show you your shadow side, your traumatized side, and your greatest potential, and your good side, and your great side. Not good side, like your good traits, and like and your talents, your skills, your greatness, and also your shadow side and things that need to be healed, such as your insecurities, your trauma, the things that trigger you. You know what I'm saying? Even from past lives, even from like your family's bloodline and shit. And I've learned these from a lot of people, so I'm not making this up on my own. I've got these from other people, and I personally resonate with this, and that's the main purpose of a twin flame connection. But again, is this a label? This can apply for any connection, not just twin flames. A twin flame is just a new age label. It's basically like another word for an intense connection with someone romantically. But you can experience that with any connection. You know. And because when it comes to twin flames, it's not egotistical as well. Don't listen to other people. It's just another intense connection. You can experience those type of connections with anyone. Just very intense, meant to show you your shadow side, just so you can heal and better yourself and better other people in the process. And I've learned a lot throughout this connection. The past 6 years, I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot spiritually. I've healed a lot, but I still need a lot of healing work to do. I still need a lot of growing work to do. And that's the purpose of this connection. So hopefully this life story makes sense. I know I was all over the place, but I'm tired. Have a good one. Peace. Oh, also, comment down below. Comment down below your twin flame experiences, or if you haven't experienced that, comment down below your most intense soulmate connections with a romantic partner. What have they taught you? What have you learned from these connections? What experiences have you experienced when it comes to symptoms like hot flashes or like anything in general? Just don't hesitate to comment down below or to make a video about it. Let me know and like, comment, subscribe, and have a good one. Peace.